Hey there, this is Lucius LaFramboise from ENG Suite, and today we are going to be taking a look at a lot of the cell modification properties and methods in Excel VBA. And once we get this down, we can really start doing some amazing things with macros that are going to save you a ton of time. So this is the full video where I'm going to be taking a look at everything and just going down the list. All of this stuff will be broken out into the daily videos so that you can just go to those. Otherwise, the timestamps in the description below will help you navigate, and the playlist below is all of those broken out videos so that you can navigate a little bit easier. All right, let's get started. So here we are, and we already have our cell. And our cell, we're just picking cell L2. If you don't know how to grab a cell, make sure to check out that video, link in the description. It's pretty easy. And what we now want to do is we want to get our cell value. So it's pretty easy. We just take that cell and we say dot value. But we're not really doing anything, so we're just going to message box that. So message box cell dot value. Awesome. Let's run our macro. And there we go. 10, L2, 10. Perfect. That's how you access your cell. Now I'm going to comment this out. And let's come down here and let's set our value. So what we can do is just do cell.value equals, and let's make it 12. That'll be a good test. We run it, and let's go into our workbook, and now L2 equals 12. Perfect. So dealing with values are incredibly easy. Just cell.value, you can read and you can write. Moving forward, we're going to take a look at cell.formula, and it's very, very similar to cell.value. So if you want to access the formula and use it somehow, you can do cell.formula. And let's run it here, because right now we just have the value 12 in there. And we're message boxing and we get 12. Okay, awesome. Let's do something a little bit different, and let's actually set it to have a formula. So we'll do cell.formula equals, and then we're going to do in quotation marks, we'll put in our function. So let's do a function, and we'll say 1, 2, 3, and we close that off. All right, and now let's run that. Right now we're reading 12, and let's go back in and check. And now we have sum 1, 2, 3. So that's really cool. You can actually use it to do a whole lot of really great stuff. So this is really great if you want to, say, change a formula to only run when you click a button, rather than having it run every time you update your data. We will get into that later when we start using this, but this is really one of your keys. You can type in any function or formula in here, and it will calculate. Pretty cool there. All right, let's come in here and let's comment all this out. Okay, adding comments. So comments can be pretty helpful. Let's first add a comment to show you what that is. So it's pretty easy, cell.add_comment. And my comment is going to be, this is a test comment. All right, awesome. Let's run that macro and go back into our workbook. And now you'll see we have that this is a test comment. Okay, cool. But let's say you want to use this comment thing to do some like time stamping. You want to timestamp every time somebody does something to that cell. Well, first, what we're going to have to do here is we're going to actually have to clear the comment. So that's totally all right, because we'll do here clear comment. And we'll say cell.clear comments. All right. And I'm going to leave this in here to show you why. So if we just run it, we're going to add a comment, and then we're going to clear comments. So we get this runtime error 1004. Application defined or object defined error. That's because we're trying to add a comment when the comment already exists. So if we end this and instead we comment this out and we do cell clear comments, and let's copy this in append to comments, we'll deal with that in just a sec. We'll say this is a new test comment. So if we come back in here, we know right now we have this is a test comment. Come in here, we run that macro, come back, and now it says This is a new test comment. Because what happened there is if we comment this out and we run that, now we don't have a comment. And we can only add a new comment if we clear the comments first. So appending to a comment, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to clear our comments. And then, well, actually, here, let's take it this way. So what we're going to have to do is we know we have to clear it. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to access the comment. So we're going to say, okay, dim comment as string, comment equals cell dot comment. Okay, so now we have that stored. We can clear our comments, and then here's what we do. We just add a comment, which is comment, and here, I'll do this. New comment. All right, now let's try running this. So do we have a comment in here? No, we don't, so let's add our own comment. New comment. Oop, that's the new style. We actually want to do new note, and I'm going to say hello. All right, so now we have that. Let's try running that macro. Oops. And, all right, let's take a look here. Oh my goodness. So here's another error. So let's run that again. Object doesn't support this property or method. So when you're dealing with comments, what you have to do if you want to read the comment is take text. So it's got all of these great little properties here, but we want to take text. And now let's run this. There we go. That works. Let's take a look at what we got. Lucius Laframboise, hello, new comment. Awesome. So we might go in a little more in depth on comments in a later video, but for now, that is our basics of comments and a couple common errors that you might run into. Okay, clearing your cell. This is going to be super easy. Cell.clear. Let's run it. It's gone. Just like that. You saw it in the formula bar for a second. We no longer have any data in that cell. Clearing a cell, cell.clear. Okay, so now for this, what we're going to have to do is we're going to clear the contents. So I'm going to go back into my workbook so we can show you what happens. So if we go in here and we do, let's say, 100, and I want to format it so that the text is red, and we want a currency, okay? Now we're going to clear the contents, which should just get rid of that value. So if we go cell.clear contents and we run that, we head back in to our workbook and you see that it is empty, but if we type in, we still have our formatting, we still have all of that wonderful stuff. So now let's try clearing our format. So first I'm going to get rid of this because we want to be able to see it. So we'll do cell.clear formats. And now we run, pop back in, and you see it cleared both the number formatting and the style formatting to give us just the number 52. Awesome. So the next thing we're going to take a look at are hyperlinks. So to get started, you know what? Let's do this in the other order. That just makes a little bit more sense. We're going to want to add a hyperlink. Now, this is a little bit complicated. Probably not going to be super useful, but this can be a really good thing to know if you only want links to be accessible to certain people or at certain times in your workbook. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start with a with statement, and we'll say with worksheets, and then we're going to select one because we only have one worksheet open. If you have multiple worksheets open, you're going to have to do some working around, make sure you're selecting the right one there. And then we're going to go down another line and we're going to say .hyperlinks .add and anchor. Here we're going to specify our anchor as .range L2. Okay, so worksheet .range L2. And then we're going to continue our with statement below. We're going to say address equals, and we're going to put in an address So I have a YouTube link here that I'm going to put in. And then screen tip. So this is like the tooltip when you hover over. I'm going to say start your free trial of QE Suite, because this is the QE Suite free trial link. And then text to display. So there's some interesting behavior with this text to display. I'm going to say QE Suite free trial. And so now when I run this, let's go back into our workbook. We see we already have a value here. So let's try running our, let's see here. I'm going to go into developer. I'm just going to run it from here. Macros, learn more about ranges, run. And we forgot to end our with. My goodness. There we go. End with. And we'll just run it from here now. We're good. Okay. And you see, start your free trial of QE Suite. If we click on that, it opens up this quick little 3-minute video that shows you how to get started with your free trial of QE Suite, which is the exact behavior. That is the URL that we brought it to. But you'll notice the tooltip works, the link works, but we're not getting the actual text to display. So if we clear that cell first, okay, and now we run that macro, now we get it. So it won't overwrite the text that's in the cell, the value in the cell. So that's something important to keep in mind. If you want to make sure that that text to display is always showing up, go ahead and just throw a cell.clear in there. Okay, so now that's great. But what if we want to get rid of that hyperlink and break it? Well, something that we can do is we can just say cell.clear hyperlinks. All right, let's run it again. Uh-oh, it doesn't look like it worked, but there's no tooltip, and when I click on it. So it broke the hyperlink. The hyperlink doesn't exist, but our styling is still so that it looks like a link. So we'd have to go back and fix that. In a later video, we are going to learn styling and formatting of cells. That's a very complex topic. This is just cell modification. Cell formatting will be an entire video in itself because there is a lot to go over there. But there we go. We cleared it out, and we are ready to go. Okay, let's pop back into our developer tab, and let's comment all of this out. All right, and we've got one more that we want to look at here when it comes to just a single cell. And this one works for a range as well, but we're just going to do it on this single cell. I find that that'll probably be the most likely thing that you do. Chances are if you're going to be copying a range, you're probably going to be filling rather than copying. So here we go with copy. It's pretty easy. Cell.copy. Now what that does is that copies our cell, and then now we have to paste. And pasting can be a little bit interesting, a little bit difficult. You've got plenty of great options here. The first thing we need is a new cell to copy to. So as range and set new cell equal to active sheet dot range, and we're going to choose M2, so right beside it. And now when we're ready to paste, we just say new cell dot paste special, and it gives us all of these great options here. So I wish that IntelliSense was a little bit more convenient placing, but we have Excel paste all except borders, paste all merging conditional formats. So you have all of these great options. These are all of your paste special options. I'm going to do paste all just to show you what happens here. And then let's go back in here. And you know what? Let's give this a fill. That way we can see all of the fun stuff we can do. Go to developers and run. And there we go. We have copied everything, including our formatting there. Now if I paste, it's still copied. So that's like a real copy in Excel. It's as if I were to come over here and Control C. That's what that does, which I think is pretty cool. You can use this to copy, large portions of data that you always want to copy, like just a button that just click it and it automatically copies all of that data. We'll get into an example of that when we come to building an inspection spreadsheet that's going to really knock your socks off. But for now, we just have to learn the basics. Okay. There we go. As I said, copy and paste. We are about to go into the full range stuff. So we'll just comment this out first. So the reason I have this broken up is a lot like our last time. Sometimes you want to be able to do things with a single cell differently than you would with a full range of cells. We kind of treat them differently, and rightfully so. A whole range acts differently than does a single cell, generally in our workbook. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to delete. So I'll get rid of that. And you know what? Instead of selecting this, let's choose, let's go back in here, and we're going to get rid of this. I don't like having that on there. It's kind of a nuisance. So L2 to M, let's see here, M4. So L2 to M4, we come back in here, L2 to M4, and range.delete that. All right, and let's go back in here because we might want to watch this. Okay, so we're going to be deleting this range here. We run macros and run, and you'll notice everything here got shifted over because that's exactly what happens when you delete a range. If I were to delete a whole column, everything shifts over one, but because we deleted that, everything shifted over, but that's kind of a nuisance. I wanted this to be all one nice, beautiful block. So let's go back in here, and let's do an insert. I think that'll be really helpful. So we'll do range.insert. And let's go back in the workbook again so we can watch this happen in real time. We run this, and boom, everything got inserted over. Again, it's as though we inserted new cells here and shifted everything over. So that behavior might take a little bit to get used to. Just know that whatever you remove, everything is going to shift over to cover that. Okay, great. So now we really get to have some fun here. So again, we're still on L2 to M4. That's this range here. Let's take this and let's do equals A1. Okay, and I can do this and drag it down like that to fill in, but what if I want to be able to just fill? Let's go back into here, and we're going to fill down. So what we're going to do is we're going to say range.fill down. All right, and let's come back in here and run that. There we go, expected behavior, filled down. And it's because of, if we had absolute references, again, VBA tries to act as much like the functions, the user interface. So when we fill down, it is exactly the same behavior as when we fill down manually. Just a way of automating it. We'll do rng.fill right. If we run that, we should expect to now fill over into the M4 range. And just like that, again, following that behavior. Fill left is going to be kind of an interesting one. Let's take a look at that. So what we should expect is fill left if we were to delete. Actually, you know what? Let's leave those and let's do this. B1. And so what we should expect is it's going to behave as though I were to just drag and fill like that. So it turned into B1 with that absolute reference there. So I'm going to say range.fill left. All right, let's take a look here. And if we macros run, there we go. You'll notice we filled over just like that, but it only worked on this one. Because if you know from Excel, you can only go in one direction. You can either go horizontally or vertically. And that's the expected behavior there. So again, we would have to fill to the right. We'd have to fill down. But what if we want to fill up? Well, kind of exactly like that same behavior. We'll do range.fill up. And if we run that, it fixed that because everything goes from, so if you're filling down, it goes from the top first. Again, exactly like your behaviors in Excel. Okay, so filling is pretty easy. I don't know how useful it's going to be. Maybe just for automating a certain worksheet. Grouping, this is kind of an interesting one. So what we're going to do is we're going to range.group that and then run. And now we can hide those cells, those entire rows with the click of a button. It's a great way for condensing down stuff with easy access. So not so much like if you were to hide using, your right-click hide. then it kind of disappears. You got to, unhide. This keeps a button there. That can be pretty helpful at times. But let's say you want to get rid of that. Well, what we're going to have to do is ungroup that. Lucky for us, it just requires putting UN in front of the G. And we run that, and you see it is no longer grouped. Okay, super cool. Merge, again, behaves exactly like merging would. So we'll do rng.merge, and let's go in here, and we're going to expect the same behavior if we were to come in here and hit merge. So instead, let's try this, run the macro, and merging cells only keeps the upper left value. That is expected behavior. Okay, so there we go. We've merged it, and again, we want to unmerge. So what's nice about that is rng.unmerge. Oops, don't want that commented out or it won't run. And we run that. And expected behavior, it cleared the data. But don't worry, that was expected. Okay, so now we are ready to learn replace. But one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to change our range. So we actually want to do it on this range here, which is N1 to P4. And what we want to do is we want to take all these 2s and turn them into the word 2. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we know we want N1 to P4, and then we're going to say rng.replace 2 with the word 2. But now watch what happens. We get a compile error expected equals. So it's expecting us to handle the return value, but we don't want to do that. We just want to call that macro there. So when we call this function, that eliminates that error, and we run, and let's take a look. Now all of those 2s are replaced with the word 2 in that entire range. Awesome. So that's pretty much it for modifying ranges in cells. Next time, we're going to take a look at formatting. That's going to be a hefty one. We've got a lot of different properties to learn. But I hope that this is giving you the foundations to start making some really, really excellent workbooks. And we'll start doing some really complex examples once we get these basics down. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and please do something awesome.